You can see this, right?
Yes, sir.
Clearly.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are going to chapter 13, sounds. And let me tell you, when we are in classes, not in these classes, in the offline classes, how you are knowing that the period is over? We will be we will be hearing the sound of ring, right?
Bell sound.
Yes, a sound will be heard. That's how you are understanding that the time has or the period is over. Like that, how do you know that when someone is at your door, when they ring their our doorbell, we know that someone is there. Okay, so likewise, all that. And another example is that you all have like you all played the game hide and seek. So, what does it say? A person, the game in this game, a person is blindfolded and he has to catch the remaining players. With these eyes closed, how he is catching the other players? He is looking carefully for the sound of the other players, where they are going, where what are the possibilities of hiding there. Like that, he is thinking, and thus he is finding them. So, and one more, these all are our daily things. And another important matter is that in our day, where stop drawing like this, all this is being recorded. Whatever you do will be saved here. And I am uploading the same thing in this YouTube. Anybody who can watch this can hear this also and see this also. Okay. And the sound plays an important role in our life also. And how does a sound plays an important role? We know that there are famous musicians is there, and many other many other instruments, musical instruments. For example, flute, tabla, harmonium, like that. These all are examples for this musical instruments. Okay. See, harmonium is there, flute is there, and the flute makes sound when air is passed through it. Okay, tabla and sitar is also here. So these all are just examples of what musical instruments. In this chapter, we are learning how all these instruments or whatever how the sound is produced and how does the sound produced transfers from one place to another, and moreover why some sounds are larger or louder than other sounds. Why is it so? We are learning all such kind of things in this chapter. So are you ready for learning this chapter? Isn't it
Yes.
interesting?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we are going to section 13.1, and here we have many activities. Here we have many activities. I think you can do at least any one of the activity by your own. Okay, in your home, you can do. If we are in class, we can obviously we will be doing something. But in this scenario, you can do at least anything in your home. See, an example is activity 13.1. You have this kind of pan in your home. All of you have, right? I think this is a cooker, pressure cooker's pan is that. Or any pan is can also be used. Take that pan, okay, and hold it like this, and like this you can hold it, okay. And another thing is that just strike it with a stick, and you will be hearing a sound. Okay, that's okay, we know that. And after that, just place your finger in that pan. You will feel some vibration. You might have already felt that because whenever in our school, when bell is not rang, you can just touch that and feel this same thing. It is a small kind of vibration. Don't go for that the phone's vibration, not like that. A small vibration will be there. Clear? And another example is also See, here you have to take a rubber band and a pencil box, put it around the longer side of the pencil box. Now we have to insert two pencils like this. You can follow this, right? Then now the rubber band is stretched. Now we are plucking the rubber band somewhere in the middle. What happens? We have obviously will be hearing some sound produced by the rubber band, but the important thing is that it is vibrating. See, you can do it by in your home. Okay, it is vibrating. It will be vibrating. You can see it with your with our bare eyes also. Okay, so in your class 7, you have learned that the to and fro motion of an object is called a vibration. Clear? The to and fro motion of an object is called vibration. And one more thing, when a tightly stretched band is plucked, it vibrates and produces sound. When it stops vibrating, it does not produce any sound. How you, all of you have might have used this rubber band to throw someone in paper like that. You might have played like that with your brothers or sister or your friend, right? And are you following me? Are you following me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay. And you have played like that by stretching this rubber band and like short like using this paper to make your friends pain like that. You have played like that, and of course, when you want to shoot them with more powerfully, you are you are stretching it much tighter, and then it is being stretched like that. When this rubber band is stretched like this, and when we pluck it, it vibrates and produces sound. See, when the rubber band is tightly stretched band is plucked, it vibrates and produces sound. Okay, and the other thing is, see, when it stops vibrating, the body you are eating, we don't want to say that. You can turn off your video and mute, or just wait. Okay, now you can hear. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
And now
Yes,
the
sir.
okay. Now when the rubber
Sir,
when the
what
rubber
is this? It is written recording.
yes, I have told it earlier. Whatever you do is being recorded.
Okay, okay.
And when this rubber band stops vibrating, it does not produce any sound. That's the important thing. See, that's what I want to tell you. When this rubber band is tightly stretched and plucked, it vibrates and it produces sound. Okay, that's okay with you. And when it stops vibrating, what happens? Then it does not produce any sound also. Those students, you can stop drawing like this in my class. You won't be entering my class. I won't repeat it. I know who are doing this kind of things. I can see their names. Okay. And the same will be reported to the principal as an evidence. Okay. And again, and another activity is also given here. You can take a round uh, dish from your house and then pour some water here and take a spoon and just pick it or hit it with an end. Hmm? Then you can see that this stick makes a wave in the water. You might have already seen it, or in other words, you can. No, this is a good example. Okay, you all should came across this example because sometimes for exams you might be given these examples and you will be asked what processes are happening here, what is the peculiarity, such kind of questions. So if you are not aware about these processes, then you will fail to score those marks. So you should read it. Okay. And there are many activities is given here. Here, these are some musical instruments also. See, Veena. And one more thing. See, here we have just found out that when the rubber band is stretched, then it vibrates and it produces sound. Similarly, in the same manner, see, in case of the musical instrument Veena, the vibrating part produces sound. What is the vibrating part for the musical instrument Veena? It is a stretched string. You know that what is Veena? It is not this sitar, it is similar to this one. Okay. And the another tabla. It is also a musical instrument. We have seen here. See, tabla is here. And from where does the sound gets produced? The sound gets produced from this area. And what is this? This is a stretched membrane, right? This is the stretched membrane, and it is from that part the sound is produced. So, in by learning all these activities or understanding, you understand what? That's what we have. First point. The sound is produced by a vibrating body. Do you follow this? With all these activities, we are aiming to make you understand that in order for a sound to produce, a vibrating body should be there. Clear? Are you clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
That's the first and the
Yes,
foremost
sir.
important point.
Yes,
I
sir.
have told you earlier, in this chapter we will be learning how does a sound is produced. So the first one is over. How sound is produced. You are clear with that. It
Yes,
is
sir.
produced by a vibrating body. Clear. And many examples are given also. And let me remind you, you should read the text as many times as you can because all these experiments or activities can be asked in your exams. Just a one word question will be there and they will be asked corresponding questions from there. So if you are not familiar with these examples or activities, then you will be finding it difficult. Okay, now we are going to the next section, sound produced by humans. In the former cases, we have learned about how the sound is produced from materials. See, the fan is taken, a rubber band is taken, a metal dish is taken, some musical instruments is taken, and how a sound is produced from other objects. Now, when we come to humans, how does the sound is produced? And I'm just asking a question. Can anybody give me an answer? When we speak, does any part of our body vibrate? What do you think? What do you think?
Yes,
Okay. So, yeah, some part of our body vibrate. Can anybody say which part? Just for knowledge. Can anybody say? Okay, no problem. So we will learn which part of our body makes that sound like that. Okay. Sound produced by humans. We can, like I am speaking, we can speak loudly for a while or sing a song or boost like a bee. Okay. And whenever we can, and whenever we make a sound, you can put your, place your finger here. Okay. And can you feel any vibration? Of course, you will be feeling any you are feeling vibration. So that's what we are learning in this section. This is important. Okay. In humans, the sound is produced by the voice box or the larynx. Okay, it's important. See, in humans, the sound is produced by the voice box or larynx. Voice box, it's a common name, and the musical, I mean the part of our body is larynx. Now, what happens? Put your fingers on the throat and find a hard bump that seems to move when you swallow. You can feel it by with your own neck also. Okay, and you can feel this. There is a bump. Okay, it is moving continuously when we swallow or eat like that. This part of the body is known as the voice box. It is common. Okay, the voice box. It is many things are inside that. It is at the upper end of the windpipe. You will be learning more in this biology when you learn about the throat like that. Okay, it is at the upper end of the windpipe. The two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. This is what is taught. Okay, see, this is the important point I'm marking. I'm drawing also. Two vocal cords is taken and they are stretched. Okay, they are stretched across the voice box. And one more thing, what is the peculiarity? In such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. See, when we press our rubber band, okay, here also, say rubber band have two stress parts, okay. Here also, like that, here we have two vocal membranes. In humans, we have two vocal membranes, vocal cords, and they are stretched in tight. And how they are stretched? They are stretched across our voice box, or you can call it simply larynx. And one more thing is that there is a small slit between, not small, a narrow slit the between them. And why is it so? It's because when we speak, there should be a passage of air should be there. And it is due to that passage, a vibration is given to these vocal cords. Are you following this? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
See,
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay, very good, very good. I'm just showing you can see this, right? See, if these are my vocal cords, see there are two vocal cords. They are they are tightly stressed. And one more thing is that there is a small space between them. Okay. And what happens when air passes through this small slit? When air passes through small slit, it vibrates. It starts vibrating like this. And what happens when it vibrates? That's what we have just learned earlier. When a thing vibrates, then a sound is produced. Clear? And that's how we humans produce sounds. Clear? See, another
Yes.
thing is there. When the lungs force air through the slit, the vocal cords vibrate, producing sound. This is important. Okay, you may be asked question in your exam like how sound is produced in humans. Then you can write all this depending on the mark. Okay. Muscles attached to the vocal cords can make the cords tight or loose. When the vocal cords are tight and thin, the type or quality of voice is different from that when they are loose and thick. We can experience it with in the case of a rubber band also. You can stuck it very tight or loose. In the see, if it is tightly stuck, it will produce when we vibrate it, when we touch it, the rubber band makes a different sound. But when it is loosely spotted, then we touch it. Then what happens? It will produce a different sound from that of earlier. In the same manner, our vocal cords, around our vocal cords, there are many muscles. And when these muscles can make the vocal cords tight or loose. When the vocal cord is or these muscles make this vocal cord tight, what happens? The sound produced will be different. Okay, and the sound produced and the quality of the sound is also different. Say another example is also given to you. You can make all this kind of. You might have already made such kind of things. Okay, see, we are going to take two rubber strips of the same size. Place these two pieces one above the other and stretch them tight. We are going stretching them. Now blow air through the gap between them like this. See, this girl is blowing air through this tight gap. Okay, and a specific sound is produced when air is passed through this small portion. A special sound is produced. Now you can also take a piece of paper with a narrow slit like this and hold it between your fingers like this. Okay, then blow through that slit and a sound is produced. Okay, but you can check it. Okay, you can make do this in your home also, and you can check whether the sound produced are similar or different. Okay, you can check it. These two examples can show the working of vocal cords. Okay, see, another information is given. The vocal cords in men are about 20 millimeter long. In women, these are about 15 millimeter long. Children have very short vocal cords. This is the reason why the voices of men, women, and children are different. This is also important. You may be already felt that why my sound, my and your sounds are all different. You know why? It's because of this part. It's because the men's vocal cord is bit longer than that of women, and in case when we come to children, the sound of or the length of the vocal cord is much shorter. That's why the sound of men, women, and children are much different. Are we clear? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If
Yes, sir.
if anybody is having any doubts from any portion, you can ask me right now. Any portion, you can ask me now. That's why I'm waiting. If there is not, we can go to our next 13.3. That's why. So is it okay with you? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
And one more thing. In today we have learned what all things we have learned. We had learned sound is produced by a vibrating body. That we have learned earlier. Now next what? Next we have learned sound produced by humans. How the sound is produced? It is produced from the voice box or the larynx, and especially how the sound is produced from this larynx or voice box. It is clearly shown to you, explained to you. Okay, and an example, an activity is also given. You can do this in your home, and you can experience whether these sounds are similar or not. You can tell me in our next class. And why men, women, and children are having different sound. Okay, all this can be explained. And one more thing, in your exams sometimes you may be asked this kind of question. Okay, why men, women, and children are having different sound? Clear? So when such kind of question is asked, you can give this explanation. Don't say that, sir, we have not learned that, or you have not taught us that. Okay. Now, the next section. Sound needs a medium for propagation. What all things we have learned earlier? First, in order to make a sound, there is a vibration is needed. Okay. Next, we have learned how does sound is produced in humans. Now what we are learning? Sound needs a medium for propagation. First of all, sound is produced, and how the sound produced from one part or one person is transferred to the other person. How it is transferred? It says that sound needs a medium for propagation. How can we make sure of that? Does sound need a medium for propagation? Okay. See, for example, when two of your friends are say okay, 100 or 200 meter apart, and they are talking. Of course they can hear what the other one is saying, but not much clear, but they can hear. So the sound is traveling from one person to the other person. So it is clear that sound is traveling. And does sound need a medium to travel or propagate? We can check by some activities. See, you take a metal or a glass tumbler like this. Make sure that it is dry. Place a cell phone in it like this. And one more thing is that don't take. Make sure that it is not wet, the cell phone. Otherwise, it will get destroyed. Ask your friend to give a ring on this cell phone from another cell phone. Listen to the ring carefully. Now surround the rim of the tumbler with your hand. Put your mouth on the opening between your hands. Indicate your friend to give a ring. Listen to the ring while sucking air from the tumbler. Does the sound become fainter as you suck air? Do you know what we are doing here? In first case, just a phone is dipped in the tumbler and a ring is given. In the second case, we are taking this tumbler and closing it to our mouth, and we are sucking the air from that part, and again you are asked your friend to make a ring in that phone. And what happens? Then you can see that the sound becomes fainter, which means the sound is propagating slowly, or it is not at all propagating. Again, when you remove the tumbler from your mouth, then what happens? Then the sound becomes loud. So it definitely means that sound need a medium for propagation. And actually what was taken from that here? In the first case, air was there and the sound propagated quite easily. In the second case, when we suck out the air from the tumbler, the sound doesn't propagate. So the sound is fainter. And in the next case, what happens? Again, we are returning it to the initial position and the sound is louder, which means the sound needs a medium for propagation, and that medium is most probably air. We can see that. Is it possible that decreasing amount of air in the tumbler had something? See, the decreasing amount of air in the tumbler had something to do with the decreasing sound of the ring. Does it have anything? What do you think? Another thing, just think like that. Another, if you had been able to suck all the air in the tumbler, you will not listen any sound. Actually, sound needs a medium to travel. Clear? When air has been removed completely from a vessel, it is said that there is a vacuum in the vessel. The sound cannot through the vacuum. Vacuum. This is also important. Okay. And I will tell you another example. Uh, you have seen many movies like that, and some space movies. You can see that in space, humans can't talk. Do you know why? It's because of this. In space, there is vacuum. That is, there is no air. As a result, the sound can't travel from one person to another. Clear? That's why they can't, the space travelers, they are using some speakers or headsets to some closed, not just open. They are, that's why they are using the closed dresses also. We can see that there is a big helmet, round helmet in their head. It's not for fashion or like that. They are using this to communicate with each other. Clear? Again, in an application level, you may be asked question like this: why do space travelers need another special suit to communicate with each other? This is the reason. Okay, and again another activity is given. So take a bucket or a bathtub, fill it with clean water. Take a small bell in one hand. Okay, take this bell inside the water to produce sound. Make sure that the bell does not touch the body of the bucket of the tub. Place your ear gently on the water. Be careful. The one more thing is that your water should not enter your ear also. Can you hear the sound of the bell? Does it indicate that sound can travel through liquid? Hmm? What we are doing here, we are placing a bell inside this water, and we are ringing. We can make sure that when a vibration is produced, a sound is produced, and we are placing our ear in water. Then can we hear the sound of this ringing? Yes, obviously we can hear the sound of this ringing, but it will be little bit fainter also, not not like when we hear from the open air also. Then another information is given to you. That is how whales and dolphins might be communicating under water. That's also important. See, you might have heard that dolphins and whales are transmitting waves, a vibration, a special kind of vibrations are given from one whale or one dolphin to another dolphin, and they can understand that. That's how they are transmitting or they are communicating. And another, so what are things we have learned in this section? Here we have learned that first of all, air is transmitted through, sound is transmitted through air. Another second case, air is not air, sound is transmitted through water, liquids. And in the third case, we will be finding the sound can travel through solids. We will find it in that our next class. So You have your text. You should write notes in your text and notes in your notebook. Okay, the textbook can be referred. I'm stopping the screen share. So are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If anybody is having any doubts, you can ask me.
No, sir.
Very good. So I think we can wind up today's class. Thank you for your
Okay.
cooperation. You can leave.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You can leave.